Warning, this video may contain content that may not be suitable for children or anyone else that is easily offended. Strong language, graphic content, nudity, bad jokes, and a possible idiot, aka myself, may be featured in the following clip. Viewer discretion is advised. Channel is not responsible for any damages that you receive watching this video. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Zems, and today we're going to be reacting to top 3 places you can't go, but people went anyway. Why do people do these things? We don't know. You always know. It's always the 4 things that we always go over. It's either 1, you die, you get injured, the person that you're with either dies, or someone's gonna try to rescue and then they die. It's a never-ending cycle. If you guys haven't already, be sure you swoop down to that description box. Make sure you go follow Mrballen and watch the video in its entirety without me pausing and stopping throughout the whole video. If you guys are into the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you come to the alternate place where it's going to direct you to the real place where you guys can see his videos in its entirety and watch all his great content. Man, we're 31 away from reaching 1,000, so that's gonna be a great moment. Thank you guys so much for showing support, taking the time out your day to watch my videos.
A more accurate title for this video could be The Worst Ways to Die.
We'll be the judge of that. We've seen a lot of those.
Stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, and you've come to the right channel, because that's all we do. We
upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week.
So if that's of interest to you, please go over to the
telling you, bro. Slap it.
Play hide and go seek. When they are hiding, switch their regular coffee for decaf coffee, and then don't seek them, just leave. Also, please
I don't drink coffee, so I don't get it.
All notifications so you don't miss any
I can't.
uploads.
I mean,
right, let's get into today's story.
like the fraps and stuff, I can do that like once in a while, but I can't drink like hot drinks. I don't like hot chocolate. I don't like hot coffee. I don't like any of that stuff. Hot tea, I hate it. I only drink hot tea when I'm like sick. The Lempo. It's like a demon or something.
The Great Gray Green Greasy. The Lempo River is one of Africa's largest rivers. It serves as a border between Zimbabwe.
Can you imagine? I can't come in today. I got Lempo. Oh my God, yeah, the Lempo. Yeah, just stay home. Don't go to work.
Zimbabwe and South Africa, and it also happens
to
be
Jesus.
one of the most dangerous places.
It looks dangerous.
A town in South Africa called Phalaborwa sits on Limpopo's shores, and all of its residents know they're never supposed to step foot inside of the dangerous waterway. But not all of the residents take that guidance seriously. On January 1st, 2010, Phalaborwa resident Mariska Buitendog, along with her boyfriend and 6 of their other friends.
Mariska Buitendog. Damn, that's rough, bruh. I bet the teacher skipped her name every time in class.
Had been out all night partying, celebrating the new year. They had had a considerable amount of alcohol over the course of the night, so as the sun was coming up, in their inebriated state, they decided they wanted to take an early morning dip in the Limpopo River. So they head over to the river, and while initially they all seemed really eager to get in the waterway...
They could have got a pull off Amazon, they could have went to Walmart, even Target, bruh. They wanted to jump into Limpopo River. Little did they know the Loch Ness Monster was over their way. Maybe even the Megalodon. We don't know what's in that water right now. But it's going to be something. Piranhas, probably.
It was only Mariska that was brave enough to do it. So the rest stayed on shore, and Mariska jumped in the river and jumped right out again. And she survived, and everyone was very impressed with her. And so she's confident.
And then
she does it again, and going a little bit farther out into the river.
It didn't come back.
Coming back on shore.
Oh.
Now she's really confident. She's done it twice. And so she said, hey, who wants to come with me for a third time?
Third time's a charm.
And the group said, no, we're still good, and you really shouldn't push your luck. This is not safe. And she said, I don't care, I'm going in for a third time. So Mariska gets in the water.
Here it comes.
She swims out on her back about 15 meters away from shore. She turns and waves at the group and smiles before she is violently pulled under the water. There wasn't even time for her to scream.
Alligator.
Her boyfriend immediately jumped into the water to try to pull her out, but he knew where she was. And there was...
He better than me, boy. I'd have been back on Tinder, like single and ready to mingle. I am not jumping in no creature-infested water for nobody, bruh. Even we just warned you not to go back out there too? Hell no.
No way he was getting her back. The other nickname for the Limpopo River is Crocodile River, and Mariska, unfortunately, fell victim to one of its apex predators. But it's not just drunk partygoers that fall victim to these crocodiles. Unfortunately for the residents of Zimbabwe, because of the extreme hardship they have to face, many of them have been forced to flee the country and cross over the Limpopo River to try to gain entry into South Africa.
Ooh, man.
Many of them will die trying. On April 11th, 2014, Zimbabwean and South African police discovered this crocodile-infested cave right near where Zimbabwean residents try to cross over the Limpopo River. And inside of this cave were the remains of 15 people that presumably tried to cross over and were caught by crocodiles. The discovery of...
Yeah, they crossed over, alright, to the other side to see Jesus. Bruh, you know how bad you have to want freedom to try to cross a crocodile-infested river? They thought this was Frogger or something. This is not Frogger, buddy. I couldn't do it. You better get a canoe or something. Build a boat out of tree leaves or trunks or something, bruh. Parachute across. I don't know. Do something, bro. I would never.
This cave and the 15 people who lost their lives inside of it, while tragic and certainly gruesome, it only represents a fraction of the total number of people who have died trying to cross this river.
Boiling acid. Well, we already know how that's about to go. He was a
Yellowstone
chemistry
National
teacher or
Park
something.
in Wyoming is one of the most remarkable and beautiful places on Earth. Not only is it renowned for its biodiversity, which includes some incredibly resilient microbial organisms,
Ooh, that's nice.
it's also
pretty.
home to one of the world's so-called supervolcanoes. This supervolcano sits atop one of the world's largest magma bodies, fueled by an upwelling plume of superheated material.
Looks dangerous.
This dynamic and violent subterranean plumbing means the water bodies at the surface, the famous Yellowstone hot springs, are highly acidic and incredibly hot.
Yo, look at this dude right here at the bottom of the screen. Look at this. Is that the marker? Found it, bro. It's a demon picture. It's a ghost right here. I found it.
To ignore the countless warnings around these hot springs telling you to stay away, do not go in the hot springs. If you were to ignore those and go in one, or more accurately, fall in one,
You're done.
This is what would happen to you. First, your body would register that your skin was bathing in waters exceeding 200 degrees Fahrenheit. This would hurt like nothing.
But it looks so pretty though. Wouldn't you want to just, I mean, not really, kind of look kind of sus though because the brown. But this part right here, if this part wasn't around this circle, wouldn't you want to just jump in to see what happened? Not knowing that you'd probably turn into a human corn dog if you jumped in here. Pretty much what he's about to say. Pretty much like getting dumped in a McDonald's air fryer if you pretty much would have jumped into this. Pretty much like deep frying a Hot Pocket or like deep frying a pickle or something. You're pretty much done. If you just happen to just walk down, oh that's the, and fall, then you're done, bruh.
Possibly imagine. But it would only hurt as long as your nervous system was able to register pain, which would only be for about 1 minute or less. At this temperature, your skin would begin to quickly break down and disintegrate, and your blood vessels in your underlying dermis would rupture, causing rapid blood loss. Some underlying skin layers would not break down, but they would lose all of their water and become tough and blackened. And your underlying subcutaneous fat would bubble off as well. All in all, this is known as a full thickness burn, and it would occur in about 1 minute in these waters.
I've already come to terms with myself. If I were to happen to pass away by some tragedy, let it be by eating or sleeping. Those are my two. If I'm like in the middle of eating my favorite, bowl of spaghetti or eating a hamburger and I just happen to get, die, I'll take that. I'm in the middle of a dream and I'm sleeping, I die, I'll take that. Those are my only two ways I'm going for. Them are my only two right there. I've already decided.
Your nervous system would enter
Those are most peaceful
and become irreversibly damaged, which would lead to most, if not all, of your organs to fail if the heat stress has not already done that to you. You would be dead within 2 to 3 minutes, and then at that point, the acidity of the water would take over. Within a few hours, your body, including your skeleton, would be completely dissolved into absolute nothingness. And for anyone who falls in but manages to climb out again before being dissolved, they are not out of the woods. Many of those people, unfortunately, will die hours, days, months later due to complications from the burns.
But if you think about it, if you were a serial killer, this wouldn't be a bad place. I mean, I'm not trying to give anybody any ideas, you know what I'm saying? Because Discovery Channel in 48 hours. But hypothetically speaking, this would be the ideal place to get rid of evidence. I'm just saying.
On June 7, 2016, Colin Scott and his sister Sable went to Yellowstone to see the famous hot springs. The siblings were exploring the Norris Geyser Basin.
He just looked like somebody that just, either I hope and pray that he just accidentally fell in. He just one of those people like, I'm about to go jump in. Somebody was like, oh, Manchester, bro, yeah, jump in, bro. And he fucking jumped in and died.
Which is the park's oldest and hottest thermal area, when they decided to leave the safety of the boardwalk and walk past all the signs telling them, do not leave the boardwalk.
Yep.
This is dangerous, turn around. They decided to walk past all of those and venture out off the course. They walked approximately 200 meters away from the path to the edge of the
656 feet.
Of the main tour, and they were just standing there when Colin apparently tripped and fell into the hot spring.
How do you just, I don't understand how, that's like going past a stop sign and you get struck by a car. You're like, oh, what? Oh my God, you hit me. Yeah, bro, because you disobeyed the traffic signal. Bruh, how? Why didn't you just listen, bro? They passed multiple signs, bro. I mean, they warned them because they knew people were going to not listen and go past it. And they warned them 3, 4, 5 more times and they still went past. And he tripped and fell in. Probably had Skechers on. Skechers don't got no grip.
Just not able to do anything. She knew she couldn't go in after him, and he very quickly sunk below the surface and didn't come up again. She ran back to try to get help, but by the time they got back to the edge of the hot spring, he was gone.
Yep.
The only thing they would find of Colin Scott was his flip-flops. Since 1890, Colin Scott, along with 20...
He was wearing flip-flops, so I see why he tripped. If he's on the boardwalk, one of his sandals or flops, whatever, got caught in that little divot or little crease or whatever, little crack, fell in. The only thing that was left was his sandals, bruh.
Other people have died by falling into these hot springs.
Drown or glory.
There is a remote cliff face in northern England that rarely gets tourists. If you were standing in front of it, you would see this little stream that went into a break in the limestone. It's this little tiny hole, and that stream is called the Mossdale Beck. If you crouched down and walked through that hole, you would be entering the Mossdale Caverns, which since 1967 have been permanently sealed off to cavers.
Why?
Once inside the Mossdale Caverns entranceway, you could look down and see that little stream, the Mossdale Beck, would be going between your legs, and then right in front of you, it would split in two distinct directions down respective tunnels.
You don't sound dangerous.
Right, the water flows down 7 miles of accessible passageway. However, most of it is incredibly tight and it's prone to flooding. As a result, fewer people have seen the far reaches of the right side of Mossdale Cavern than have stepped on the moon. To the left, the water goes through these impenetrable rocks that no one has gotten past. In fact, no one knows what's beyond these rocks. However, scientists have determined the water that goes left at the entranceway will reemerge 18 days later, 5 miles away, 900 feet lower in a pool called the Black Keld. The massive
Why the pool gotta be black? No, it's playing.
yet to be explored that connects the entranceway to Black Keld is referred to as the missing link.
Does the Black Cow has any warrants? Any warrants for his arrest? No? Okay, sorry, just checking. Could be a felon, we don't know, could be.
I think cavers from all over the world would be clamoring to get inside that accessible side.
Yeah, clamoring to die.
Caverns and try to find a secret access point back to the missing link, to be the first person to discover that, to stake your claim and say, that was me. But in fact, since the Mossdale Caverns was discovered in 1841...
Imagine that one person does decide to go down there and be like, I'm the first one. This could be him. Done. He'll be at the top of heaven like, that was me. that was me. Yeah, we see now.
Until 1967, almost no one went in Mossdale Cavern.
Good.
Endless, tight, water-filled crawls with names like Drown or Glory made Mossdale Caverns feel like too big of a risk to be worth it.
Drown or Glory.
1967, 10 extremely fit, extremely experienced cavers said, you know what? We are going in Mossdale Cavern, and we are going to find that entrance to the missing link. So, on June 24th, 1967, these 10 cavers entered Mossdale Caverns. They went right into
none made it out.
7 miles of passageway, and they began their descent. And it wasn't that long until 2 of the 10 cavers, the 2 least experienced of the group, said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore.
Good thinking.
I'm feeling about this.
Good job.
We don't know the way out. And so they needed chaperones to leave. And so 2 other cavers from the group had to go with them. So 4 cavers, they leave.
So it's only 6 now.
The other 6 are going to continue on. So when the 4 got back to the surface, it was about 5 p.m. They had been in the cavern for several hours at this point. And when they went in, initially, the weather was great. It was beautiful. It was clear. Now they're coming out again, and it had started to rain. Not significantly. It was more like a drizzle, but they were a little bit concerned because they knew the other 6 were planning.
If you're with somebody and you all plan to do something and one person say, I don't feel right about this, end it. Don't even go in there. Just plan another day. Go plan something else. Go to Chuck E. Cheese. Go build a burrito at Chipotle. Just get out of Dodge, bruh. Because if they have a bad feeling, then 9 times out of 10, something bad may happen. Or they could just be overthinking. Some people overthink, but I'm not taking no chances. If everybody was in good spirits before we started and just one person just say something bad, I'm not doing it, bruh. Because those 4 people are probably going to be there alive. Or them 2 about to go back down, and then they're going to discover them, and then they're going to head back up.
To be in the cavern until after midnight. So they were just hopeful that the rain did not get any worse. But just a couple of hours later, the skies opened up and it rained like it hadn't rained in years. Just torrential downpour, and the 4 were really concerned about the other 6. So they went back to the entrance hoping that maybe, the other 6 would have heard the rain, although it's very unlikely
because they're so,
to be. But they were hoping that maybe they'd be coming out again and they would see them and get them back to safety. But when they arrived there, not only were the 6 not out of the cave, but the actual entrance to the
Sealed
cave
off.
was completely submerged in water. Earlier that day, when the 4 cavers turned around and left, the other 6 cavers, they continued on, and they had made it about 2 miles deep into these caves.
That's
they had passed the
claustrophobic,
fabled
boy.
drown or glory swim,
Claustrophobic.
they had survived the knee-wrecker passage, and they had bit their tongue as they squeezed through the famously painful Umaguli tunnel, now located hours away from the only way out.
Don't even sound like something you should be crawling through. The Umaguli. Umaguli. It sounds like something mosquitoes carry or something. Oh yeah, that mosquito gave me Umaguli.
They are way into this cave. They were nearing the end of this distant section of the cave that they believed on the other end they would find this hidden entrance into the missing link. All they had to do was pass through the Far Marathon section, which is a 900-foot tunnel that is only 10 inches high, 2 feet wide, and you have to wriggle through on your stomach with your face pressed against a stream that runs through it. And it takes a very long time to get through it. It's incredibly claustrophobia-inducing. It's considered one of the most stressful things you can do in caving. But considering how experienced these cavers were and the fact that they had come down there specifically to get to this far point,
I don't understand.
Their spirits were high. They were probably joking with each other as they're doing this awful thing. And then they made it about 3/4 of the way through this tunnel
and got stuck.
Someone must have noticed the distant rumbling sound and said, "Hey, what is that?" And as they sat there listening, trying to discern what the sound was, it must have dawned on them that their worst nightmare was about to come true.
The water.
It was the sound of surging water. This tunnel is about to flood. They began crawling faster and faster down the marathon tunnel. Not only was it very difficult to move quickly inside of this very tight tunnel, but they also knew there was nowhere to go. They're 2 miles underground. They must have felt like...
You have to understand, they knew they were about to die, bro, when they heard the rumbling, and they got caught at the worst part of the cave where they have not that much space to squeeze through, and now they're about to die, and they know they're about to die, and the people up top know they're about to die. You don't get to say bye to your family, nothing. Can you imagine? All because they wanted to explore something that no one else did. They wanted to be the first people to do something. Guts and glory, but stupidity all at the same time.
The world of sunshine and fresh air was suddenly an eternity away. The oldest of the group was 26, the rest of them were all in their teens. United now by fear, the water came rushing in as they're all pinned inside of the Far Marathon tunnel. And their face is already up against the river, and now this river is surging with water. And so they're all desperately trying to crawl through this flooding tunnel. And the
too late,
leader of
Chief.
the group, the guy literally in the front, John Ogden, who was 26, he managed to get all the way through the Far Marathon tunnel.
Oh, snap.
To the space where they anticipated finding that secret entrance into the missing link. That wasn't there, but he found above him there was a small fissure in the rocks. There was an air pocket, and he managed to get his head up into the space right as the water in the Far Marathon cave completely submerged. So any of the cavers in there, they drowned inside of the Far Marathon. The bubble that he was in was a little bit bigger, and so some of the cavers managed to get in there, and they tried to clamber into this air pocket as well, but ultimately there was only enough room for one person, and John was the only one up there. And so as the water levels filled the room he was in up to his neck, everyone below John drowned. Now we don't know if John literally kept other people from getting into this air pocket with.
I mean, if they made it out and there was only room for one person, I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, you could be the heroic thing, but at the end of the day, one person still gonna have to take that spot. So it's gonna have to be me, or it's gonna have to be them. And you gotta think, like, do I wanna go back to my family? Do I wanna die today? I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not, bro. So I'd imagine him holding or he's kicking and he can feel the bodies beneath him, bro. That's some scary stuff right there, boy.
With him. All we know is it can only hold one person, and ultimately John was the one who was left inside of this crevice. But this air pocket was really just delaying the inevitable, because there wasn't very much air inside of it, and John's 2 miles below the surface. There is no way anyone is going to get him in time.
Nope.
And so he ended up dying a couple days later, and when they found him, he was still in the air pocket trying to get one last breath. What I've not covered in this story that I would encourage you all to check out is there was this incredible effort to try to save these cavers before anyone knew they were deceased.
Jesus.
There was this hope that maybe they found an air pocket and they were still alive. And so they basically created this artificial dam that was very precarious. The water could at any moment spill over, and it provided just enough drainage inside of this
That's
cavern.
crazy, dude.
The best cavers in the world to go into the cavern to look for them. And so they went into this cavern knowing at any minute that makeshift dam on the surface could break, and they will 100% drown in here. no one's coming to get them.
And they still did it.
The Far Marathon Tunnel all the way to the bottom to get to the lost
troopers, bro.
And ultimately, when they discovered they were all deceased, it would have been impossible to remove their bodies. And so the decision was made to leave these 6 cavers where they died and seal off the cave permanently. So in 1967, they sealed it off, and they now treat Mossdale Caverns like a gravesite.
Those 2 chaperones that took those 2 divers back better thank them 2 divers for saying it was not a good idea, because it would have been 8 down there instead of 6. I don't know if that was me and I was a diver. I think that would have been my last dive or cave exploration, whatever they want to call it. That would have been it.
If you enjoyed today's video and you haven't done this already, please go over to the like button's house and ask to play hide and seek. When the like button is hiding, switch their regular coffee with decaf coffee, and then do not seek the like button, just leave. Also, please subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly 3, 4, even 5 video uploads.
Every week.
If you want to get in touch with me, you can direct message me on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter.
For both platforms is the same.
Yeah, Mrballen. Yeah, 416, yeah.
I also have a ton of content over on TikTok.
Facts.
My username is Mrballen.
Mrballen, yeah.
Suggestion, please submit it to our subreddit just called Mrballen. It's linked in the description below. So whether I see you on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube, or some combination, just know that I really appreciate your support, and until next time, that's going to do it. See you.
Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. It was a lot going on. I mean, this sucks when you just see that all these deaths could have been avoided if people would just read the sign and not try to do anything over the top to get recognition or to be the first to do something. It's not that serious, man. If nobody's doing it, you have to ask yourself, why isn't nobody attempting to go in there? Why does the million of people around the world do not want to go in that tunnel? It has to be a reason why. And if you just can't see through that, then natural selection. But let me know down in the comment section which one you thought could have been avoided easily, or which one you thought was the worst, or which one you just thought was just plain just stupidity. Thank you guys for showing so much support these past couple of days. Keep that going. The videos will keep coming. Like I said, I'm off Sundays and Mondays, so it's going to be Saturday and Sundays for you guys because I am over in Japan, so the time zone is different. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. 1K, here we come. Look at me. I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now. Look at me.